One of the most painful things that we can do to ourselves is self abandonment. And I want to talk about this because it's something that I didn't give enough credit to. It was something that my ego was very much like, I don't abandon myself. That's not what I do. That's not what's happening. I'm fully living for myself. I don't people please anymore. I just like go out and do what I want and, make sure that I'm living for me and all these things. But like, really, there were some pretty sneaky, under the radar ways that I really was abandoning myself, and even by not admitting that I was self-abandoning, was I self-abandoning? So, I don't want anything today to be taken as, shaming you or making you feel bad about the way that you're living your life right now. I My sole purpose here today is just to maybe get your wheels turning in a direction of looking at potentially ways, or ways that you are potentially, I should say, self abandoning. Do not discount that you could still be doing this even though you have been working on yourself for so long. It's a very normal and natural and realistic and understandable thing that we do. And I'm going to get into the different ways that we are abandoning ourselves. And I'm not going to give you some stupid, lame little self improvement listicle about like saying you're okay when you're not okay. Like, that's not the vibe. I'm gonna give you some like sneaky fucking ways that this shows up in your life so that you can check yourself a little bit and be like, babe, I think that there might be an issue here. So, let's talk about who this really is for. Like I said, if you are, low vibration, you're really not doing well, you think that like you just are not living a life that aligns with who you want to be in any way, shape, or form, this will help you live more for yourself. If you're somebody that does tend to people please, if you're somebody that puts other people's emotions before your own, this is going to be very beneficial to you. It is also going to be beneficial to the type of person that is more self-improved, that you think that you have moved on from the low vibration version of you and have really stepped into being more in alignment with who you want to be. But there are still ways that you're not fully accepting the ways that you're abandoning yourself, that you aren't looking things in a you're not looking at things clearly. You're looking at things in the way that you want to perceive them, and it's causing you to not be able to step into your full potential. It's causing you to feel held back. Like things just still aren't right. Your life just doesn't look exactly how you want it to look yet, and you can't figure out why. This is for the type of person too that like really wants to be like unbothered and grounded and chill and not let life crumble them and like get to them so bad. But through that, you still are feeling resentful to things in your life or to other people or to other situations. You're comparing yourself, like that's what I'm talking about in the sense of like, you feel like you're on the right track to who you're supposed to be. You're more improved than you have been in the past, but you just don't feel like you're there yet. It's very emotionally exhausting, if I do say so myself. The first sign that you're abandoning yourself is that you're making things work for the sake of making things work, not because they're actually things that you want, things that are in alignment with your best self. It's super easy to do this because we're supposed to be living in the present, right? So like you're just going with the flow of life. A lot of the time you don't like zoom out and look at your life as a whole. You think and say like, is this really what I want? It's like when a problem arises, you just handle the problem. Again, very normal, very natural reaction to life. But the problem with this is when you don't zoom out and you don't look at things from like a bird's eye view lens and ask yourself, is this what I want? Why do I feel stressed? Why? Like it's any moment that you feel like you are frantic or scrambling or that you have to work hard to get to a solution is when you should be zooming out and asking yourself, is this really what I want for my life? I was having a low mental moment the other week, and I was on a walk with my mom, and she was like, obviously, the reason that you're upset is from something that's going on inside of you. It's not anything external that's happening. So, like, I mean, obviously, like, there's external things that trigger the feelings, but like, what is happening internally that's causing me to be so like inundated with the external issue. Like, why am I so triggered? Why am I so emotional? Whatever. Let's figure out what's going on inside of me. What wound is this touching? And it dawned on me, okay, literally, this is the saddest shit ever, okay? And this is literally why I'm talking about this today. But I swear to God, guys, I swear to God, when I think back, I realize I have been abandoning myself since I was like 5 years old. You know what I mean? Like, I have been abandoning myself since I entered school for the sake of getting other people to like me, for the sake of fitting in, for the sake of being desirable, for the sake of being cool, for the sake of being whatever. Like, insert literally any adjective. I say, fuck me, fuck what I want, fuck what my desires are, fuck what I really think, fuck what is anything to do with me. What do I have to do in order to be perceived correctly or be perceived in the way I want to be or just like to be enough essentially, you know? And I don't take the time to take a step back and ask myself what I really want out of life or what I really want per each situation. So when a situation comes up that causes more stress in my life than I would like, instead of saying like, okay, what's happening big picture here? Like why is this in my life and causing me stress? Why am I allowing this stressor in my circle? And it's because it's easier and more just immediate gratification, immediate reaction to just handle the situation at hand than to take a step back and say, like, is this what I want? Is this what I need to be dealing with right now? Would my life be better if I just removed this from my life? If I stopped dealing with this? If I made a change to redirect how this situation plays out? And obviously, you can't just like up and remove every single stressor that ever happens. Like that's not realistic and I understand that, but also like can't you? Like why are you dealing with things that you don't actually want to be dealing with? And maybe you even are convincing yourself that you do want to deal with the things because if you don't deal with those things then you can't have something else. And that's valid, but is it worth it? Like, is this really what you want from your life? And, I say that to you. And, I was in situations that I would answer that question, yes. And now that, I am looking at things from a bird's eye view, I can really see that it was self abandonment. It was me, just dealing with things because I thought that that's what I had to deal with and because it was easier and, it would cause more uncertainty and fear and not knowing what my life would look like if I made the harder decision and walked away from something that, really wasn't in alignment with me and what I wanted from my life. I really want to take this moment to say, like, again, this is just to get the wheels turning on where maybe you are putting work into areas that you don't really need to be because you don't need to be doing things that aren't for your long-term well-being and aren't in alignment with what you want out of life. But it's a process to get to that point. It is a lot to just cut things off and let things go. Like it's a very scary thing to do what, is unknown. So it's just to, if I say that and you're thinking of a certain situation, it's maybe something that you should do a little digging on potentially. Okay, my second one, I'm super excited to share with you guys because it is a very new, huge realization for me. And it's possible some of you might not love this. And dare I say it, you won't love it because you're still abandoning yourself. You're still trapped in that cycle, yeah, honestly. And maybe one day as you gain mental strength, it could click for you, but like it might not, okay? So like hear me out, okay? Have a little bit of an open mind. You're not setting and following high enough standards for yourself. And you're doing that because you want to be accepting of everybody, supportive of everybody, understanding of everybody. But that's you abandoning yourself. As a very empathetic person, as somebody that cares a lot about other people, is very supportive of other people, wants to understand and love people fully, I always give people the benefit of the doubt. And this is not me saying to not give people the benefit of the doubt, okay? I think that is a really good thing to do. I'm very proud of my empathy. It's a very big like superpower of mine. I love that about myself, how empathetic I am. But here's the thing. If you want a high quality life, if you want to be in alignment with a version of yourself that knows their worth and that doesn't settle for less than they deserve, you have to have you have to set and follow. That's the thing. Set and follow high standards for yourself. And you cannot stray below that bar. And when you are a person that is so understanding and so empathetic and wants to see the best in people and gives people the benefit of the doubt, you have to be that much fucking stronger with your standards. You have to have that bar because if you don't, you're just going to slip into that understanding and the empathy because you have that. It's just your inherent natural gut reaction to be understanding and empathetic because you're a good fucking person that understands that people go through things and people are the way they are because of the things that they've experienced and hurt people. And so it's so easy to let people that are not going to be at your standard into your life because you think you're not above anybody and you're not. But what are you willing to tolerate? For example, now that I'm single, I obviously am thinking about like who I would want my future partner to be. Like who is the person that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, okay? And for that, I think one of my standards, I'm not going to say I think, I know one of my new standards is that not only are they a high quality person, but they have high quality people in their life. They've got a lot of friends, they've got a really solid family, they have a good relationship with all of these people in their life. And so when I was around a group of people in my family not too long ago, and I was talking to one of the people there that does have some family issues. But I love that person. I think they're a really great person. And so I couldn't help but think like, okay, wait. So like because this person has like issues with the people in their life, that means that I can't be their friend? No, that's absolutely ridiculous. Like the person deserves love. That person deserves to have love just no matter where they came from. They can't control that. That's not their fault. But here's the thing. What's my standard? Like I can and what's my standard for like a life partner is the thing too. Like I can be friends with that person, but what kind of person do I want to share my life with? And there is nothing wrong with setting a standard for yourself that you want that person to have certain qualities or certain things in their life. Like, so for example, like having a lot of friends. Like, if that's a standard for you, then I think that that's an okay standard to have and to not fall below that. And it doesn't mean that the people that don't have those things are bad people or aren't deserving of love. It's just what am I wanting to sync myself up with? And I think that that's where worth really comes in. It's something that I'm learning about, how much you value yourself is that it's you having holding yourself to a specific standard and you valuing yourself in a way that you won't settle for less than your standard is not you being mean to other people. Like you're not an asshole because you have a certain bar that you want to set. And going back to the example of making sure that the person you want to share your life with comes from a group of people, like has a group of people behind them that are also high quality. Maybe if someone doesn't have that, right? Like let's say you're interested in somebody and they come from somewhere that just like is more low vibrational, they're surrounded by more low vibrational people and you still really like that person. How enlightened is the person that you're wanting to spend your life with? Like, does that person see the dysfunction in the other people? Like, does that person see that, like, that's not something that they're okay with living like that, or that they're not okay with those people treating you poorly, that they would do anything to protect you from the low vibration? Like, how enlightened are those people? Because, like, there are so many people that come from not good situations, not good circumstances, and they really turn things around and come out on top. Like, look at Oprah, you know what I mean? Like, came from a dysfunctional space growing up and is like obviously a very enlightened person. Wayne Dyer came from somewhere dysfunctional, is a very enlightened man. That doesn't mean that you can't be around that person because they came from a lower functioning space, but you have to look at the person for what they are now. And are they enlightened? Like, do they see the dysfunction? And then you can be around that person. And that doesn't make you an asshole. I'm not saying write people off because they don't come from good places. Every single person deserves love, but it isn't your job to help people realize that they can be better. It's your job to meet a person where they're at. And if where they're at is where your standards are also at, then you can make that work. But because people like you and I are so empathetic and are so understanding, if we don't stay rigid with our standard, it will be so easy to just let anybody in and love anybody because everybody deserves love, and we know that that's true. And you are allowed to have a standard for yourself and follow that standard. Third sign you're abandoning yourself is you operate from a place of what could I do to be perceived a certain way, and not out of true, genuine desire that you have. I literally just did this yesterday. I was getting ready to go hang out with some friends and I was putting my outfit on. Okay. And again, like being single now, I automatically, like when I get ready, my brain says, like, what does this outfit say? Like, does it say flirty? Does it say sexy? Does it say approachable? And I last night I was like getting so irritated because I was just like, God, see, like this is what was nice about being in a relationship is you didn't have to think about any of this stuff. You could just get dressed. And then I was like, hold on. First of all, dressing for the male gaze, that's a no. Second of all, how fun is it that I get to like put thought into my outfit now and that like I'm not just like a bum that doesn't care. Three, like I absolutely never was a bum that didn't care. Like I always put thoughts into my outfit, regardless of if I was in a relationship or not. Four, it's not about how you're going to be perceived. I'm not operating from a place of how I'm going to be perceived. I want to operate from a place of what I genuinely want. What do I want to wear? Who cares what anybody else would think about it? And obviously, this doesn't just pertain to clothes, this pertains to absolutely anything, like speaking up about certain stuff, like things that are important to you, or not letting people walk all over you, or standing up for something that you believe in. Like, you don't have to operate from a place of, oh, will I be perceived correctly if I say this thing, if I do this thing? No, if it's, do you want to do it? Do you want to do it? One more time. Do you want to do it? No? Okay, then don't do it. Yes? Okay, then do it. Like, who cares? It's not that serious. And if you continue to operate from this place of like, I want to do this so that they like me, or I want to be perceived as cool, or I want to be unbothered, or I want to be sexy, or I want to be whatever, like you can want to be those things, but do it from a place of genuine authenticity. Like, just be that, like, show up as that person. And then what does that look like for you? Like, what does sexy mean to you? Sexy means I'm gonna wear an off the shoulder shirt and show a little shoulder moment, show a little collarbone, show a little cleavage, whatever it is that, says sexy to you. Wear a tight bodycon dress and feel good in your own skin. Like, but it's from a place of what you genuinely want, not because you think that other people will perceive you as a certain way. I don't wanna go to the hangout, but I don't want people to think I'm an asshole. I don't want people to think that I don't wanna be invited places. I don't want people to think that I don't wanna hang out with them. I don't want people to think that I'm sitting at home being lame and that I have no life, and so I wanna make sure that I'm doing all of the things and posting the things on the internet so that I look like I'm doing a certain thing and my life is a certain way. Like, fuck that, dude. Just live your life. Just live your life. And if you live your life from a place of authenticity and authentically show up in those ways, that's when you're not abandoning yourself. Like that's when you are operating from a place of genuine desire and not operating from a place of perception. And let's be honest, like you look silly when you live from a place of perception. And I'm saying that because I've been there, you know? It's so transparent, to be honest, when you're being performative. Like we all see you being performative. Like you're not getting away with anything. It's very obvious. So like honestly, if you just like operate from a place of what you actually want to do, and you have to say like, this is another one, kind of like the first one I was talking about, that a lot of the times you say, yeah, no, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Absolutely. And you're like convincing yourself that it really is, but like, let's be honest, babe. You're being a little performative. You're being a little performative. Let's be honest, okay? Let's just be honest with ourselves. You have to think long term. You can't get stuck in your immediate gratification brain. You have to give yourself permission to be patient and to go with long term gratification and what's going to be good for your long term well being. And where does that help you make decisions? How does that help you make decisions? And where does that lead you in your life? You tolerate almost good enough because the unknown is terrifying, or letting people down is terrifying, or failure is terrifying. Like there's something that is scaring the shit out of you. And so you're like, okay, like the good enough is good enough. What if I can't get better? See, again, terrified. Like, what if this is it? You know what I mean? And it just causes you to settle for things that are not what you deserve, that you could do better. And I have the perfect, like, somebody said this to me and it literally like blew my mind because I just think it is so true and so something that I just did not realize. If you have a 7 in anything, relationship, job, friendship, family relationships, whatever it is, your life as a whole, if it's at like a 7, you're good with that because I would argue that a 7 is pretty damn good, Like 7 is fine. I'm comfortable at 7. I'm happy at 7. I don't need to ask for anything else. 7 makes me happy. 7 is a pretty high up there number, but that you have no idea what it would be like to have a 10 at whatever it is because you're not allowing yourself to get to the 10. You're settling at the 7 because you don't think that it's possible to get to the 10. You have to let go of the 7 in order to have the 10. And you have no idea how fucking great life could be if you let yourself get to the 10. But you're not doing that because you're staying good enough at the 7. And again, you can be happy at the 7. You could live a good life at the 7. But the fact that you could have the 10, but you're not allowing yourself to get there because you're too scared to let go of the 7 is bullshit. Have a little bit of faith in yourself. Like you are so deserving of all of the things, especially if you are here right now. You know what I mean? Like you are working on being the best version of yourself. And I know that just because you clicked on a self improvement podcast. And I know that Wellish is not the only self improvement that you are consuming. I guarantee you've got self improvement stuff on your FYP, you're reading books, you're watching YouTube videos, you're listening to other podcasts, you're thinking about it, just even like, should I have a morning routine? Like, even if you're thinking about it in a way that's like you stressing yourself out and making yourself guilty and doing it in a not healthy way, you know what I mean? Like, but that's just kind of a part of the process. But you're doing that to yourself. You're following that mentality, and that is you trying to be better, okay? So you are deserving of that better that you're trying to reach, that you're trying to get to, that you know that you are capable of achieving because you can picture it in your mind. So allow yourself to do it. It's kind of like what we were talking about last week with self-improvement, is that like we stay on the self-improvement bridge. We stay checking off the list of things that would classify us on an aesthetic scale of what being self-improved is because it feels safe. It's easier. It's easier to just stay there, and it feels better better than where you were before you started the self improvement. And so, if you can allow yourself to cross the bridge of self improvement and allow yourself to get to the destination that you want to get to, but you won't do it unless you allow yourself to do it. And that's a scary transition to make. You have to just start showing up as the person that you are self improving to become. Then you'll realize that you can live your life at that 10. You don't have to stay at the 7 on the self-improvement bridge, or in the 7 relationship, or at the 7 job, or in the 7 friendship, or at the 7 outfits, like fashion sense that you have. Like, start stepping into the person that you actually want to be, and it's going to be scary as fuck to do that. But if you allow yourself to do it and trust that you deserve the 10, and trust that the universe or God or the divine, whatever it is, fill in your own blank, is going to get you there because you deserve to have it. There is no budget on what the universe will give you. Allow that to be true. Like, give yourself permission to believe that to be true, and you will have it. You have to let yourself get there, though, instead of saying that good enough is at the 7, and I'm just going to be grateful for what I've got, and I'm going to allow that gratitude to keep me stuck in where I'm at. You be grateful for what you have, but trust that you are capable and deserving of more. Next way we are abandoning ourselves is by telling ourselves that we don't want to give energy to something. And there is absolutely a time and a place to not give your energy to things. Do not get it twisted. I am the number one believer in not giving your energy to things that don't deserve your energy, because you absolutely shouldn't. But because I am such a hardcore believer in that, I would use that as an excuse to allow myself to not respect myself, to allow other people to walk all over me, to allow people to get away with shitty behavior, because it was easier to go that route. It was easier to not stand up for myself. It was less intimidating, less scary to just say, you know what, fuck it, let that person do what they want, and I'm just gonna go walk the other direction. And there is truth to that. Like, if you know the Mel Robbins let them theory, that is a big part of it, is let them. Obviously, that's what it is. It's called the let them theory. Let them do whatever weird shit they're going to do, and you're fine with that. I can't control external things, blah, blah, blah. But there is another piece of the let them theory. Let them is only 50 fucking percent of it, okay? You also have to let me. You have to let yourself. What are you going to do with that circumstance? Like, the fact that they did whatever they did, okay, now let you. What are you going to do with that? And sometimes the answer is just walking away and not giving your energy to their weird ass behavior. But sometimes it is saying, hey, don't do that. Hey, you can't treat me like that. Hey, this isn't going to fly. You're not able to get away with this behavior. You can't act like this. You can't treat me like this. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do with their behavior? What things in yourself can you control? The way to tell the difference between when you are supposed to just let people do their thing and not give your energy to them, and when you should stand up for yourself, is when you feel not at peace with letting them do whatever they want. Like, and don't, again, you can't get this confused with ease, because it is peaceful and easier to just ignore and avoid and turn a blind eye and let them do their thing and walk away. But it piles up over time, and you feel resentful over time. You think, "Ah, God, I could have stood up for myself a little bit better in that situation." You don't feel proud of yourself for the way that you handled it. I think that's the biggest way. It's like the sense of pride. Like, I feel so proud of myself for the moment my ex-fiance said that he didn't want to be with me anymore. I said, okay, bye. And I literally, like, left that situation so fast. I never contacted him again. I have no interest in contacting him again. He has been cut off from my existence. He does not exist to me anymore at all. And so I feel really proud of myself for that, So that would be not giving your energy to things that don't deserve it. But there comes a point that if somebody is treating you poorly, they're saying bad things about you, they are acting in a way that is disrespectful to you, that just walking away would feel like you're kind of being a doormat. It would make you feel like they're getting away with bad behavior. So instead, you say, "Hey, don't talk to me like that." Like that, and that would, you would feel so proud of yourself for saying that, especially if you are somebody that has been a people pleaser and abandons themselves a lot. It feels so good to be like, "Hey, don't talk to me like that," or setting a boundary, like saying, "Hey, I'm not okay with this. Hey, I don't allow this in my life. Hey, let's not do X, Y, and Z anymore." Like that, that would make you feel proud. That's when you know that you should be giving your energy to just doing that. And that's the thing too, is it's kind of like two in one, you know? You give your energy to it to say, "Hey, not cool," and then you don't give your energy to it anymore. You did what you had to do, and then you can move away. And I think that's like the other thing that gets lost in not giving your energy to things, is that like it's, are you avoiding? Are you allowing, bad behavior to happen because it's easier and less scary and not confrontational? Or are you doing the thing, you're setting the boundary and then not giving your energy to it anymore? That's also like a very important differentiation to make when you're incorporating this into your life more. One of the coolest things that I learned, if I had acknowledged those things when I was in that situation, I wouldn't have been able to be in the situation. So it's crazy how your brain works, that it just automatically shuts yourself off to, like, it does not allow you to acknowledge things that wouldn't allow you to stay in the scenario, the situation that's at hand. So you abandon yourself by convincing yourself that everything is fine, even though everything is not fine. But acknowledging the truth of what the situation really is would cause you to have to let go of the version of the story that you're still attached to. If you say, "Okay, my friend never asks about me ever. They literally just talk about themselves constantly and never asks me about my life. I don't even know if they like would know enough about me if they took the time. Like if they were asked questions about me, I don't even know if they would be able to answer those questions because they literally don't ever ask about me or give a fuck about, apparently, about my life or my interests are or anything about me. They just use me as an outlet to talk about their own life. They just like to hear themselves talk all of the time. But you are like, "Oh, but they're fun. Oh, but we love to go out together. Oh, but we laugh. Oh, but we've had such a long history. We've been friends for so long." It's like you're not allowing yourself to acknowledge the truth of the situation. Like you won't even, you might think to yourself like, "Oh, that's kind of weird. Like they never ask about me or whatever." But like you don't you just say that and then you go, "Oh, but," you don't acknowledge the truth of the relationship. You don't look at the relationship for what it really is. You're looking at what you want to look at, and it doesn't work. It's you abandoning yourself. It's you settling for a relationship or a friendship or a job or whatever that is not serving your highest self. This is one of the hardest forms of not abandoning yourself, I swear to God, because it's so easy to just go with the relationships that you have. And like, what's the alternative? Being alone? Like, that would suck. So I'm supposed to cut this person out. And a lot of the time, it feels like for no real reason, especially because you've been allowing this behavior for probably so long that it would feel so random to be like, "Hey, you never ask about me. I don't think we can be friends anymore." Or to like weed that friend out. They would be like, "What the fuck did I do? Like, I don't understand." They wouldn't, it wouldn't make sense. You would feel like an asshole, you would seem like an asshole, but you're not an asshole for having a standard once again. So it really is a hard one to come to terms with and to execute because you don't feel, it doesn't feel like you're doing the right thing, but you are. If this person is, you have a piece in your mind that's telling you that something just like isn't right and that they're not making you feel how you know that you deserve to feel. You're convincing yourself that things are fine when they're actually not fine. It is you abandoning yourself, and it's going to cause resentment and it's going to bite you in the ass long term. And I really just feel like talking about this over and over, so much of self abandonment is looking at instant gratification, is not zooming out and looking at things for your long-term benefit. And you have to zoom out and look at things for your long-term benefit. And you won't do it until you do it. Like, again, don't pressure yourself to make immediate changes now because the things that I'm talking about are triggering you to think of certain things in your life that you go like, "Ooh, shit, maybe that is something that I am abandoning myself on. I'm not going to acknowledge it. Shove that down. Shove that down." You know what I mean? You don't have to do anything right now. Like, let me give you full permission to not do anything about it, babe. Okay? Wellish, it's not that simple, but it is something that long term, it might not be for your benefit, and you might have to think about working towards making a change in that area. Last but not least, coinciding with what I was literally just saying, you gaslight yourself into seeing the potential instead of the pattern. And I think that's what so much of self-abandonment is gaslighting the shit out of yourself. And I didn't even know that you could gaslight the shit out of yourself. I learned that a couple years ago, and it was literally one of the most mind-blowing realizations that I have quite literally ever had, because I realized it's literally like the only way my brain operated, and honestly still does operate a lot of the time. I don't want to say a lot of, yeah, no, let's be honest. Let's be truthful. Sometimes I didn't want to be truthful in that moment because like I don't want to lose credibility. But like really truthfully, it's the awareness that matters. You know what I mean? Like, so much of the time I am gaslighting the fucking shit out of myself. And it's just not the way to operate. And it's not what is in your greater good. If you are gaslighting yourself into believing what you want to see and not actually believing what's like in front of your face, it's it's going to cause problems for you eventually. It might not cause problems right now. You might be fine at the moment. It might not be a big deal right now, but it will catch up to you eventually. Like, without a doubt, if you don't get a hold of it and grow a pair and do something about it and stop gaslighting yourself into believing either things are better than they are or things are worse than they are or things are, whatever. You can gaslight yourself in any way, but gaslighting yourself to see the potential and go with the potential instead of like the pattern and what's actually happening in real life in front of your face, you're gonna have problems long term, and you're not going to feel good about yourself, and you're going to continue to abandon yourself, and you're not going to understand why the hell your life is not what you want it to be, and why you don't feel the way that you want to feel, and why you are not living in alignment with your best self. When you stop abandoning yourself, you stop needing so much from other people. You stop needing external validation and to control what's happening on the outside. You can be your own clarity because you don't need clarity anymore, because you're able to trust yourself and turn inward and know that the only thing you can control is yourself, and actually genuinely lean into that. And again, you don't chase clarity because you become your own clarity through that inner knowing and healing and controlling yourself, that you become your own soft place to land. And the way people treat you changes because the way you treat you has changed. People respect you because you respect yourself. People won't fall if they want to be in your life, like they will be mindful of your standard. They like for example, like I have friends that being on time is very important to them. I am not the best at being on time. I'm into being late, okay? But when my friends have a standard that they want me to be on time and that's important to them, I do my fucking best to make sure that I get there on time because my friends are important to me and because I care about what they think of me, and I care about respecting that boundary because I love those people and I'm not a selfish person and I have empathy. And so I do my best to y- fit into that standard that they have. And, that's just like a minor standard. People will do their best to fit into your standard and to treat you the way that you expect to be treated because you treat yourself that way and you don't allow less than you deserve. you're not gonna be able to build this whole dream life for yourself and then, like, disappearing from it because it gets uncomfortable. You can't be the best version of yourself and then, like, sometimes, do things that are you abandoning yourself. I mean, obviously, you're gonna make mistakes. Like, obviously, you're not gonna be a perfect person. There are gonna be situations that you abandon yourself. Again, wellish, but you have to spend more of the time living in alignment with who you want to be, not abandoning yourself, than in the space that you do. An 80-20, you know what I mean? And obviously, we're going to do our best to get it to like a 99-1. You know what I mean? Like we want to do our best to not do it as much as we can. But if you really want to create a life for yourself that you feel really proud of and you feel really good about, and you want to build your confidence and your self worth and live in alignment with the best version of you, you have to do the things that are in alignment with you and not abandon yourself. You have to know that sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable. And there is literally no way around that. There is nothing that you can do to change that. It is just a simple fact. If you don't want to abandon yourself, it will be uncomfortable sometimes, but that's worth it. It's fucking worth it. And you feel so good about yourself when you realize that you got past the discomfort of whatever you had to do in order to live in alignment with you and not abandon yourself. And you feel more like your best self and like you're living your best life because you did that. If you give in to the discomfort, it's just you saying even more, shit, I'm not in alignment with my best self. Shit, that's not what she would have done. That's not what a person living this high vibration life would have done. And the pattern and the cycle continues. You don't need to be unbothered. You don't need to be whatever they tell you that you're supposed to be in order to be well and all of the things. You just need to be honest. You need to be honest with yourself and you need to live in alignment with authenticity. You need to live and show up as your genuine, true self. And let's be honest, that version of you is screaming inside of you, begging to finally be chosen. So stop abandoning her. We know abandonment wounds hurt, okay? Anytime another person has ever abandoned us or betrayed us, it is personally, I think, one of the most painful things that I have ever been through. So why the fuck would we do it to ourselves? Stop abandoning yourself. That's where the true pain really comes from, is the ways that you are not choosing you. So listen to the person inside of you that is begging to finally be chosen and choose her. I want to hear which one you needed to hear today, so DM it to me. I would absolutely love to hear which one hit hard for you at Wellish Podcast, both on Instagram and on TikTok, or you can DM me at sarah.rittendale for my personal Instagram. Share this with a friend that needed to hear this today, the one that you feel always puts herself last because she needs this conversation. She needs to know that she needs to start putting herself first because she deserves so much more than she's allowing herself. Make sure to leave a rate and a review for the show. It really helps keep the show going. And it lets me know what you guys want to hear more about. Like the episode if you're here on YouTube, whatever works best for you. I want the feedback from you guys. It really helps a lot. And also make sure to subscribe to Wellish so that you get more podcasts like this on your feed. I love you so, so much. You are enough exactly as you are right now. You are a bad fucking bitch. Don't let even you tell yourself differently. You are, but you're just working one step at a time to be even better, and more wellish. I love you. I love you. I love you. I will talk to you on Monday. Bye.